I am really excited and I feel really privileged to have Dante Sears with us today. Dante is a certified master of clinical hypnosis, a Reiki master practitioner, and a neuro-linguistic programmer. She's also a TV host for Samira's Network, and she's a reporter journalist for Brass Ring Magazine and Radio. This is really cool. She's also under contract with the producers of Intervention for a reality show, and the best way to get in touch with Dante is to go to her website. It's Dante, D-A-N-T-E, Sears, S-E-A-R-S.com. So it's DanteSears.com. Dante, thank you so much for being a part of today's workshop.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, Aaron.
Absolutely. So here's where I want to get started. Look, people, you know, when you mention anything about hypnosis to people, they immediately start thinking of people going up on stage, having people do silly things to embarrass themselves, and that's kind of like this stereotype of this idea of what people know about hypnosis.
Yes.
And so I wanted to ask if you could fill us in on what a hypnotherapist actually does and how it can be really helpful to both actors and models.
Oh, fantastic question. If I knew hypnotherapy when I first started acting and modeling, I think it would have helped me tremendously. I don't really have a nervous problem. But I did have sort of like an analytical thing going on in my head most of the time, and so it can definitely help to shut those things out and help you to just focus on the goal. Another thing that I notice about actors is they tend to be a little scattered in their energy, so hypnosis can really help you to hone in on what you actually want. For me as an actress, what I struggled from, I started in the business when I was 5 years old, modeling for Oshkosh Bagosh, and then I went on to act and do commercials and all these things. But my biggest problem was self-sabotage. So I was like, oh yeah, I want to be a big actress and to be famous, and then I'd have this dream like I'm going to be this huge famous person and I'm going to be by myself and won't be able to trust anyone, and I would sabotage myself and be like tremendously late for my auditions, or not show up after I got the job because I wasn't aligned in my purpose of I want to do this because, and make sure that all of my personality traits were on board and completely synced up to what I wanted.
And so something that I think, well, actually, you brought up a really interesting point about focusing and really having a true understanding of what you want, because, that expression of, be careful what you want because you might actually get it.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people, and I know this is a little bit on a side note, but a lot of times when people are entering the industry, and I guess it can be true for any business, going in with the idea of wanting to become famous, for people who have, made it to that level, sometimes it's not all it's cracked up to be, and sometimes it's really not as much fun.
Or glamorous as you think it is.
Or
Yes.
glamour, exactly. And so I love the way that you're talking and thinking about making sure you have a real clear understanding of what you are all about and why you are doing things. So something that I thought would be really great to do, and I realize this is not a real session. When people come to see you, it's a very, very involved process. I mean, we even talked for a few minutes ahead of time, and I don't know if that is the normal process or normally if you wait for people to actually come into your office before you start asking them questions. But what I would love to do is have just like a little sample of what people could expect if they were going to have a session with you. So I guess from the very beginning, maybe I'm talking, maybe some of the issues that I have, and I'll do some role playing with you, is, I've got auditions coming up, and nervousness is part of it, maybe having a better understanding of what's making me nervous. Why am I, all of a sudden feeling my heart rate beginning to go out of control. The palms of my hand are starting to sweat. I find myself kind of going blank. I'm really prepared. I've got everything memorized. I go into the casting director's office, and then all of a sudden, I'm like a deer caught in the headlights, and I just can't focus, and I'm not listening to what they're asking me to do, and I just kind of freeze. So let's say that's what's going on with me. I want to come and work with you. How would that process work?
Okay. Well, first of all, I created a 3-step process to intervene in any problem. My system is called Dante's Intervention. So it's 3 steps, and the first one is investigate. I want to investigate who you are through your birth data, your time of birth, your birth date, where you were born, because that helps me to understand your emotional processing, which is what's happening underneath subconsciously that you are aware of but not able to put into words. Because that's important for me to understand. And then I want to interview you so that I can find out how you feel about the problem and what language you use to describe the problem, because that helps me understand the referential points that you're using to process that data, the emotional data that's coming at you, that's a part of your, your emotional makeup, your ingredients. And then once I have a very good understanding of the model, then I basically have like this model that I can look at and go, okay, so here's Aaron, and this is how he does things, and then I can intervene, which is the 3rd step. So once I have the full understanding, I can intervene on anything that you're having a problem with. But first, I have to have that, that sort of foundational understanding. So, like you said, that you kind of freeze up. Oh, you have a question?
Yeah, I know. So I was just going to say, okay, so I just walked into your office. And sitting down, I assume I'm sitting in a chair across from you. And so how did things start?
Yeah, so first, like I said, I would have done your birth chart and looked it up and get a good understanding of who you are and how you process. For instance, in your birth chart, you have a strong need to communicate with people, is what it says. You're a very curious person, and your ego and your mind are aligned, so you have a lot of mental energy. So what's happening when you go into those auditions is you want to be right. You want to be right, you want it now, and because you have an ability to influence people with your words, you want this satisfaction even in this place, even though it's not as organic as you just talking, because now you're playing a role. So understanding that about you, then I would ask you, okay, so here you are in an interview, in an audition, right? And you said that what happens when you go into the audition is?
Heart rate goes up. I kind of lose my concentration. I forget everything that I remember. Not that I forget everything. All of a sudden I start getting stuck in places, which kind of contributes to my heart rate going up more. I'm just not able to focus. I can't relax. Maybe that's a good way of putting it. Simply can't relax in there, and the auditions just don't go well.
Okay, great. So the first thing is that you're feeling these emotions. Well, first of all, forgetting your lines. What happens when you memorize something is that you need to be in the same attitude and mood as when you memorized it. So if you were relaxed when you memorized it and you walk in and boom, the heart rate goes up and everything, this information is no longer accessible, because there's sort of like wavelengths for your information, and you memorize it down here, but you're way up here. You can't see it, you can't access it. So the first thing is to get yourself in a relaxed mode so that you can access that information. So first, what was the mood that you were in when you memorized it? How were you feeling?
Yeah, I was pretty relaxed. I was very comfortable. And so what you're saying is it's really important to be in the same place at the audition as you were while you were memorizing the material.
Yes. Otherwise, the information won't be accessible. Yes. So that's very important. So were you feeling at that time, explain some of the emotions you were feeling when you were memorizing the lines.
I was really concentrating on the characters. I was thinking about how they were making changes in certain parts of the sides, and
Very good.
really enjoying the transitions. And it was really fun to see where things actually went with that character. And so it was a very enjoyable journey for me.
Great. And as you're talking about it, can you sort of feel that place again where you were when you were memorizing the lines, sort of
Yeah.
settling down into that place? Right. So in this case, I would have you continue to talk about how you felt, but take two fingers and pinch them together like this, and continue to
Okay.
talk about how you were feeling, how you were sitting, and what that felt like inside of your body.
I feel actually it's kind of interesting as I'm doing this, and I don't know if it's a psychosomatic kind of thing. I'm starting to feel like this little tingly
Yes.
feeling running down
Yes.
my legs.
Very good. That's right. You're accessing the emotions. That's very good. So what I've done is I've created an anchor for you, and I continue to talk about how you felt there. What I'm doing is creating a place where when you get in there, you could just pinch your fingers together and boom, recall those emotions immediately.
Wow, that's
Feel
cool.
that? I feel it too. Actually, I see. I'm stealing your feeling right now. I'm also being able to access it while you are. So I can feel that blood rushing up into
Yeah.
my head, but also very relaxed and confident.
Wow. So basically,
So let go
for
now that you're
oh,
talking about something else. Shake it out.
okay.
Just go like this. All right? Now, just for a second, try again and see if you can't get those feelings back again by pinching your fingers together.
I feel something. It feels a little bit different. This one is not as tingly, but I still feel energy flowing. It's
Yes.
interesting. It's a little bit
Very
different,
good.
but it's still a very relaxing thing, and it's allowing me to be much more conscious of what my body is feeling.
Yes. Very good. And you can access these emotions anytime by pressing your fingers together. But as soon as anything that is not positive enters your mind, you want to let go so you don't anchor that with it. Okay? So what I
Got
like
it.
to do with people is, okay, so that's one thing. Then I say, all right, how would you like to feel when you're in an audition?
Oh, I want to feel like I'm on vacation. I want to feel like I am sitting at a party with people and just relaxed, not even thinking about the job itself, and really just having a good time. That's the place I want to be at.
All right. And what's important about feeling that way? If you feel that way, what's the emotion that you'll get out of that feeling?
Um, I guess it will take me to a very, happy place, a place where I feel very comfortable, a place where I feel liked by others. I feel
Mm,
like I'm part of a group instead
that's
of an
right.
outsider.
Very good.
Those are some of the immediate things. I'm accepted.
Very good. Yes, and so there's an emotion, and it's one word, and it completely describes this feeling that I believe that you need when you're in an audition. And when you have this feeling, you can do anything.
Got it. And so I'm curious from a practical point of view,
Hmm.
when I'm trying to regain that feeling, is
Don't
this
try,
something?
do.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Don't try, do. When you try,
Oh,
that means
okay.
you didn't do it. Try.
Okay.
Don't try to do it. Just do it.
Got
Take
it.
a deep
Okay.
breath and let it flow. Very good. So
That's
what
cool.
I would want you to do is, I think the word you might be looking for is confidence.
Yeah.
Would confidence help you in that
Oh,
situation?
that's a life changer.
All right, great.
Absolutely.
So what I want you to do is think about a time when you felt confident. Just one memory, just the positive part of the last time you felt confident. And then
Okay.
tell me about it. And as soon as you start to feel that, I want you to just put it right there and add it to that anchor that we gave, okay?
Okay. And you want me to verbalize it or just internalize it?
Verbalize it. Verbalize it. Tell me about the memory.
Okay. So I was doing a workshop in South Africa,
Very good.
and I was really appreciating what I was able to offer people when people would come back to me and tell me not only just how much they learned,
Hmm.
it went much deeper than that. It was how I was able to show them how to do things differently in their lives, how I
Very
was
good.
able to give them the confidence to try things that scared them, to go
Hmm.
after things that other people were telling them don't waste your time with. And so, in many ways, what I was really getting back from people, it wasn't, you know, the knowledge that you gave me about acting and modeling was really helpful. These were like life-changing experiences for people that had nothing to do with
Yes.
acting or modeling. And I remember as I was hearing people and I could see it in their eyes and feel it, and just even in their the way they were standing with me,
Oh,
it
how are they
was
standing?
they it was like they were kind of like leaning into me. And at one
That's
point,
right.
for a couple people, we just hugged. It was just this, and these are people I didn't know, just pretty much strangers who felt affected by what I was offering them.
Hmm.
And in some way, and I don't want to make it so dramatic that it was like, life altering, life change, but in some ways it felt that way to me because that's what I was getting from these people. And I
That's
just
right.
sat, and I just sat back and I thought, this is wonderful. I mean, I love doing that kind of work, and then
Hmm.
to get that kind of energy back from people to see these transformations and people who are all of a sudden going to go out and do things that scared them and things that they weren't supposed to do, according to everybody else in their life. I just thought, this is incredible.
And how did that make you feel?
It made me feel powerful.
Very
Honestly,
good.
it made me feel, all
Can you
right,
feel those feelings as you're talking about it in your body?
now absolutely.
Yes, that power, that confidence.
That confidence and that spirituality of being able to feel things without having to verbalize it and just take it
Very
in.
good. Yes. Ah,
And it was pretty overwhelming to me, um,
in a good way.
in a great way.
Great. And as you're feeling that, if you see someone who's confident, how would they sit? How would they stand? Show me that confidence in your body, in your posture.
Oh, people absolutely, they were standing up. I was standing up. And then I just found myself bringing people into me
Very
and
good.
brought them into my life, my physical presence, and just being able to hug them for a moment, just felt this bond. I mean, once again, with people I knew nothing about, complete strangers, people who were living, literally halfway across the world. Um, and all of a sudden, I just felt this strong connection. And
Very
it was,
good.
so yeah, my body was very upright. And it just felt great.
Great. And you can feel those feelings now as you're talking about it?
Absolutely.
Great. So now you've added confidence along with what were we doing before you had the relaxation
It was
to your
relaxation. Yep.
yeah. And it's funny because the confidence, I don't know if you noticed this, it feels actually more calm than the relaxation,
It does.
right? It's not as
Yes.
rushing, surprisingly. It's kind of like, huh, it just is. Isn't that great?
It's wonderful.
And then, so you can take this confidence in with you into your audition. But go ahead and let go for a sec. All right. And so now, if you have this confidence and this relaxation, are there any other emotions that you need to feel ready to do your auditions, or is this it and you're ready now?
I really I think that is it. Now, what will also help me obtain that, and I think without it, I think it would be very difficult, is I have to
Uh-huh.
be prepared, which has
Yes.
nothing to do with emotions. that's just doing my homework. So,
Well, but if you're
oh, okay.
prepared, how does that make you feel? Think about it. If you put on your seatbelt, you're prepared, right? And that gives you a feeling of,
Confidence and
and
preparedness.
and
Preparedness
if you're prepared,
and
there's a system that we put in our house to make sure that everything is safe and
safe and secure, safe and sound. Uh,
secure. Yeah, security is also it's one of the building blocks of human emotions. There's love, joy, peace, security, and freedom. If we don't have one of those five, we're not processing correctly, we're not acting correctly, our behavior is not coming out properly, and then we become divided. So you should feel loved, you should feel the joy of what you're doing, the peace of mind, that relaxation, the security, and free to express yourself in that moment, right?
yeah.
So
And
do you feel that you have all those accessible now, or do you need any of those five?
actually, that I think I'm right there with it. And what's really interesting is that as we're talking, I'm just without doing anything, I feel
There.
this. Yeah, I just feel this calmness and I feel my heart rate is slowing down. I mean, not that I was, freaking out before or anything,
Right.
um, but I'm just feeling
It's like more
this.
steady, right? It's strong and
Yeah,
steady. It's fast and it's slow at the same time. It's just perfect. There's energy, but there's relaxation. There's peace,
wow.
but there's joy.
Yeah,
There's freedom, but there's security. And in this moment,
wow,
you're perfect.
wow.
And you have it
So
accessible anytime you want right here.
that's cool. So
Let it go now.
okay. So let me ask, for a good time to actually do that, would this be, right before you go in to read, when you're sitting in the lobby area? When would you recommend somebody do this?
Well, I just gave it to you. So anyone who's watching, if they're watching, they got it too. The
No,
amazing thing about hypnosis is they've got it. So if anyone's watching and they do it too, they've got it. They can borrow your emotions, and our emotions actually will transfer to the audience. So all they have to do at that moment is go like this, and they'll be able to access this moment. There are some other things I like to do too, though. One of them is called power posing, which is an excellent way to bring up your energy and be confident in a moment. And there's a few different power poses you can do. One of them is this, hands behind your head. Sit back even, just take it in. And you're
okay,
taking in the energy from the environment, and you're accessing your personal power. You can do that for about 2 minutes. Another power pose is just to stand with your hands up like this and just
okay.
receive. And you might want to do that in the bathroom. Right? And the third one is put your hands on your hips
Okay,
and just hold that pose with your feet spread out, feet planted and spread out, and just take up some space and just feel your energy. And power posing helps people to get, when they're in an interview, to get the job. It helps you to walk in there, hey, I'm on, I'm ready to go.
uh-huh.
And the third thing that I like to do is focus on the outcome. A lot of times we get so excited about something, and we think it's nervousness or anxiety, but actually anxiety is nervousness, and nervousness and anxiety are excitement about a future event. You're excited. You're so excited. I hope I get this right. I want this job so bad. Yes, you're excited. So if you can just realize that nervousness and anxiety is excitement, you say, oh, I'm excited. All right, I embrace that and let it go, right? So
Yeah,
you're excited about it, and then you want to focus on the outcome, which means it's not about the interview. It's not even about the role. What do you really want? You want to be a superstar. You want to be an A-list actor. You want the $10 million deal. And then you realize, I am the $10 million deal. And then you walk in there with your anchor, with your power pose, focused on the outcome, excited. I am that. And then you go. See, if you focus on past the audition and past the role at what you really want, what you really want is the paycheck, the notoriety, then you can walk in there, hey, I'm here for my paycheck and my notoriety, not do you want me for this role? Am I okay? Me, please, me. Is it me? I don't know. Right now, do you want me to stand here, over there? No. You walk in and you know you're it. And when you know you're it, they know you're it.
And you know what's so interesting about that, because I've heard this from so many casting directors, they want people who are exuding this confidence because they want to surround
Yes.
themselves with people who are confident.
Yes.
And it's contagious. And I mean, it makes sense. You want to, everybody, they want to be around people, you know, who feel like they and are showing that they know what they are doing. And that's who you want to be with. That's who you want to book for the job. And so those are
Absolutely.
great ideas. Look, I think, look, I know, I mean, we could be spending days and days together with this. What you have offered in this, you know, couple minutes here has been invaluable. And these are things that I'm definitely going to be using for all of my auditions. I'm sure other people are going to be, you know, really taking this to heart as well. So I just wanted to make sure is the best way for people to get in touch with you, to set up sessions with you, would it be to go to dantesears.com?
Yes, you can go to dantesears.com and under shop or services, there are all my services listed there. You can also contact me through Facebook. I'm pretty big on there, and Twitter. So I'm Dante Sears on Twitter, and I'm Dante Sears on Facebook. And that's a great way to, you know, message me or tweet me and ask questions to get in touch. Really quickly, I was with a famous casting director last night, and he said the thing he wants to see is the light in your eyes, and you have a presence. So these things that I shared will help to bring that presence about, and that's ultimately what someone wants.
Wow. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day. I know you've got so much going on, and I really hope we get a chance to talk again soon. But really, thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. See ya.
All right, take care. Bye-bye now.